All right, welcome back to the channel. So according to Chris Mannix, it looks like the fight between Raleigh and Romero and Gervonta Davis might very well be canceled. Let's talk about why he says that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, man. If I was Raleigh Romero, I would not be happy at all. It seems if the reports coming out from Chris Mannix are true, PBC and Showtime are actively looking for replacements for him for the fight against Gervonta Davis, the pay-per-view fight that was supposed to be on December 5th. And this is all coming on the as a result of a lot of accusations that are coming out around Raleigh Romero on Twitter about basically him being accused of sexual assault by a series of females. And I don't know if any of this stuff has been proven, but if you go on Twitter and you look at the accusations been made about him, they're very, very graphic about what he did, forcing himself or virtually forcing himself on women in their cars and all kind of stuff around Las Vegas. And so it seems as if these reports are correct, that Showtime and the PBC said, look, it would be better off not to continue on with this fight, find a replacement for Gervonta Davis, and, basically kick Raleigh Romero to the curb, man. And, I got to tell you, my take on the matter is that I understand, man, I hate to almost kind of sit in the middle and almost agreeing with everybody, everybody around, which is, if I'm looking at it from the point of Showtime, Showtime is not going to want to move forward with those type of accusations, on the head of a fighter that fights for them in a promotion with their name all over it. I know that there was an interview that was given by Steven Espinoza, who runs boxing and runs the sports program for Showtime, that said that they were going to be looking very closely into this and they were keeping an eye on it. And that, at that point in time when he was being asked, he didn't have an answer about it. But, when he said that, I thought to myself, like, all right, man, he's not saying that, that, hey, man, we're going to let the legal process take its, take its course or anything like that. They said that they were looking into it very closely. And apparently they looked in it carefully enough and said, look, this is not worth it. We're not going to sit here and have our name hanging over this stuff, man. So on the real, it's very, very unfortunate for Raleigh Romero if what Raleigh Romero did, if what these people are saying about Raleigh Romero is not true. But look, man, we are living in the middle of the Me Too movement, or, in the midst of the Me Too movement, in the midst of, Dave Chappelle being canceled for jokes he's telling on TV. I was at my son's basketball, like a family thing for my son's basketball. And the coach was talking about how they were advising kids to be very careful about what they say on Facebook, what they say on Twitter, or what they do on TikTok, because all of these things can come around and haunt you later on in your life, right? And this is a perfect example of it, man. Having healthy relationships with women and not putting yourself in a position where this can happen to you, man. Because honestly, I don't know if anything, this is probably as damaging to Raleigh Romero's career as when Jarrell Miller test positive for performance enhancing drugs right ahead of the fight he was supposed to have with Anthony Joshua, right? He had everything. He had the world at his feet. And all of a sudden, overnight, boom, it's gone. Same thing with Raleigh Romero. And now this is this is Chris Mannix reporting it. And Chris Mannix is saying, these are sources of Chris Mannix. I have a sneaking suspicion, though, that this is not very hard calculus to do. They're not going to put their name on Raleigh Romero. First of all, Raleigh Romero is a tin can in this fight to begin with. Okay, so despite it being on pay-per-view, was a stay busy fight for Gervonta Davis, and the real star in this fight is obviously Gervonta Davis. Now, if this had been happening around Gervonta Davis, it would be interesting to see whether or not they would whether they would be so quick to separate themselves from Gervonta Davis. I know Gervonta Davis has had other accusations around him, but nothing like this, right? Like, and I know that the accusations around Gervonta Davis, in case somebody comes back and says, hey, there's all kind of stuff that happened with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis had a scuffle with a girlfriend that was on tape, and that looked bad. I know he had a couple cases, against him for one. I think might have been assault for punching somebody or getting into a fight in the gym. None of the things that he's talking about that around Gervonta Davis is anything like what Riley Romero is being accused of. Riley Romero is just short of being accused, of being a serial sex abuser, man. And I don't know if there's going to be any coming back for him on this type of stuff, because these accusations are not going to go anywhere. So man, if you are one of these guys that can run around thinking they can say anything and do anything to women, and it's not going to come back and bounce on you, come back and bounce to haunt you, you better hope that you Floyd Mayweather Jr. or Gervonta Davis, someone where there's a lot of money on the table for people, and a lot of people are willing to ride with you because you're making them a lot of money. If you're a B player, if you're a guy that's just along for the ride, or in the case of Riley Romero, just somebody that was about to be a Gervonta Davis highlight reel, man, you can forget about it. And also, I would suspect that if they pull Riley Romero out of this fight with Gervonta Davis, he very well may not get another fight on Showtime. And I don't honestly know who would touch Riley Romero after getting snatched out of a fight like this under these circumstances. And like I said, it would be very, very unfortunate if it was a situation where the women were exaggerating, or he actually didn't do anything wrong. That would be unfortunate. But just the simple fact that they're spreading his name out there and they're associating his name with that. I actually caught, I actually saw some other notes going around from some women in boxing, and the women in boxing they were pretty much acting as if Riley Romero was guilty. There's a lot of people that were in Vegas. I've got emails from people about Riley Romero after the last video that I did, where they were like, look, I know it's innocent until proven guilty, but I'm telling you, this guy right here ain't right. And it's, something's not right about this guy. So I can only imagine that the people at Showtime Sports got the same, and Steven Espinoza got the same, stuff delivered at them. And they said, hey man, it's probably better to cut and run on this guy than associate ourselves, with this type of nonsense going around, and hope the issue can die out, and they can save the pay-per-view. Because honestly, man, if they had went through with the pay-per-view, then you would have had all kind of stuff going on around the pay-per-view. I wouldn't be surprised if there were been media reports, because it was another month. There would have been media reports and all kind of stuff for at least a month going on before that fight. So unfortunate for Riley Romero if he did it, and and he just got people just drug his the mud out there to hurt him. Hey man, it seems like they did it successfully, and that looks like it's going to be a wrap. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section, and with that, I'm out. Peace.